nobody else has found him. And a bone china tea service, a colour television, won £400 earlier on. Hello and welcome to sunny Rio for the first round of this season's Formula Meme Championship. The defenders and the offenders go into this round as the season favourites. However, the Independables, Tropico Motorsports and DVR with their lineup of Franklin Stegging and Theo van der Brink will be hot on their heels. And the brand new V6 turbocharged engine has proved to be somewhat questionable in reliability over pre-season testing. So it's going to be very, very interesting as the lights go out and we go green for racing.
Hello and welcome to the Realist Racing Formula Meme Championship. My name is Chad Chumley and alongside me for this championship it will be Tom Brooks.
Thank you very much there, Chad. Yeah, looking forward to the Realist Racing Formula Meme Grand Prix of Brazil here at the Autodromo Internacional de Nelson Piquet getting underway. Qualifying was a very interesting affair. You can see there row 1 headed by the number 9 Sam Hirani with Lee Harrison locking it out on the number 7. Row 2 Franklin Stegging, James Price-Harper there as well. Row 3 headed by the Swede of Dylan and Tom Bellingham there for the Independables. Just behind Theo van der Brink, the Netherlands driver, Dan Thorne on row 4. So two different nationalities there with Alex O'Dell in the number 23 and the Lithuanian Arūnas Linkevičius on row 5. Bjorn Golder on row 6, joined by Neil Heatley, the Scotsman. And to move on to row 7, James Lambert in the number 91, joined by the Scottish driver, number 64 for Kaibitsu, Campbell Wallace. Row 8 headed by Pete Walker with the Irish driver, Niall O'Connell, not too far behind. Luke Mason on row 9, joined by Matt Davies, an all-British affair there. Row 10 sees Charlie Marriott and Craig Woolard towards the back end of the field. And the final row of row 11 is Tom Kowalski, the Polish driver, and Sam Hill locking out at the final position on the grid there, Chad.
Yes, this should be a very interesting season. These cars are quite difficult to drive and there should be quite a few boo-boos from some of the drivers I'm expecting as well. And here's a quick track description at Jacarepaguá in the gorgeous foothills of Rio.
Yes, indeed. You can see 11 turns for the drivers to negotiate, 12 laps on the circuit and a circuit length of 3.126 miles. You can see there Sam Hirani, who starts from pole position. His best lap was a 1:25 flat. And let's take a look then at that pole position lap now.
So here he comes down the pit straight, looking towards turn 1. Lots of wide radius corners here, some varying lines. Sam takes a middle of the road line and a late apex, which is probably what I would do in a similar situation. Turn 2, another long radius corner. You want to avoid the curbs here, they're very high and cost you a lot of time. Gets a good exit there out of 2. Turn 3 is a very fast left-handed flick, flat out in qualifying, perhaps not so in the race with full fuel. Turn 4, another fast right-hander, and then you've got to spot your braking point immediately for turn 5, which is critical because after turn 5 is the longest straight on the circuit. You want to get a good exit to maximise your speed. Then going down along the straight, you have plenty of time to think about how you're going to mess up turn 6, or not mess up turn 6 in Sam's case because he took pole position. Turn 6, very, very fast. Right tap on the brake, bang it down a couple of gears, bring it back over to the left to spot your turning point for turn 7. If you get turn 7 right, you'll be on the right line for turn 8, which should be flat out easily. And then it's just looking for your braking point for turn 9. Goes in nice and early. Stay low on the circuit, you don't want to get high, there's no grip up there. Now coming towards turn 10, deceptively slow. You think you can take it fast, but you have to go much slower than you think. Again, avoiding the curbs, and Sam does that very nicely. Now the final corner, turn 11, takes forever to get round. You're constantly waiting to get back on the power, but you've got to wait. Sam does that perfectly, clips the curb, but doesn't cost him any time, and across the line for pole position.
Yes, indeed, a fantastic lap there from Sam Hirani. He starts on the left-hand side of the grid on pole position with Lee Harrison not too far behind in second. It's going to be a very, very interesting affair. You can see there the black helmet of Sam Hirani, the Kimi Raikkonen-esque helmet for the Defenders driver, and heading down towards turn 1. It's going to be very interesting. Lee Harrison there with Franklin Stegging in 3rd position. So how well will the Dutch driver be able to get away on the grid? So the red light will come on. As soon as it goes to green, we'll be underway here at Jacarepaguá. And the lights go green, and we are away for the Formula Meme Championship. And immediately it's straight into the barrier there. One of the Independables cars, I think that may have been Tom Bellingham. Not entirely sure who it was, but Sam Hirani leads the way, closely followed by Lee Harrison, and somebody off at the first corner as well. My goodness gracious me. I think that must be one of the power drivers. It must be Alex O'Dell or Pete Walker, who is straight into the barrier there. Fortunately, they have got going, but Sam Hirani, I should say, rather, leading the way here there, Chad. A fantastic getaway off the front row of the grid.
Yes, good start for the leaders, but midfield and towards the back there was some awful driving. One of the Independables into the wall before they'd even crossed the start line. Who could have seen that coming?
Absolutely. Dylan there in 3rd position as well, so the Defenders having a very good start to the race. But look at that, Lee Harrison immediately challenged for the lead from Sam Hirani as they come down towards the back straight in towards the left-hander. Sweet as you like there from the number 7, and Lee Harrison gets the position back, but Hirani not taking things lying down. Bit of contact going in towards the right-hander there. Absolutely amazing driving here from both parties, but still Lee Harrison there leading the way here on lap 1, and the 2 Defenders drivers really are on a charge there, Chad, to be able to get themselves up into the top 2 positions.
Yes, Lee Harrison got a great run onto the back straight. These cars have big rear wings, create a big hole in the air. He sucked himself past Sam Hirani, and a bit of contact on the exit, but you've got to be aggressive. This is the top flight of motor racing, and you don't want to be a pushover. As Sam Hirani looks back down the inside in towards turn 1, all clips on the grass, all gets very, very sideways, beautifully held, loses the spot to April Dillon.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely amazing overtake there. Very Nelson PKS, which is coincidental given the name of the circuit. That does mean that Dylan is up into the top 2 now. So the 314, the Swedish driver, in a prime position to be able to take advantage of where she's sitting on track. Lock up of the brakes there into the left-hander. I believe that must be of Carlos Pace. But back now on the power, and Sam Hirani immediately looking to try and take advantage, I should say, with one of the Independables cars sitting there pretty in 4th position as well. We cross to the helicam, looking at the inside goes April Dillon there for the lead of the race, but shuts the door at the last minute. Does Lee Harrison, has to think better of it again, and that allows Sam Hirani to close right up as they go in towards the left-hander, and it is Hirani up the inside of April Dillon, gets the position, done and dusted, does the number 9. Very nicely done there from the Defenders driver, but a fantastic scrap here for the top 3, Chad. Lots and lots of racy action throughout the field going on as well.
Yes, brilliant racing between the 2 teammates of the Defenders. Very, very fair from April Dillon. Sam Hirani was coming whether she liked it or not, and she had to give best in the end. But these 3 battling is let Tom Bellingham in the Independables. He's having a very good run up in 4th. He's not too far behind.
Yes, indeed. Coming down towards the first corner then on the circuit of Malocote, and in towards there they go. And look at Hirani all over the rear bumper of Lee Harrison like a nasty rash that he wants to be able to get rid of, but he can't shake it off, can the number 7. He's having a bit of a hard time of it behind the wheel of the Offenders, and his N-Team's compatriot really looking to try and get the bit between his teeth and get the position done and overtaken. But unfortunately, it's not coming any good for Lee Harrison at the moment. Price-Harper a bit further down the order, so he's all out there on his own for the Offenders at the moment. Further down the order, you can see the likes of the Tropico Motorsport team there of James Lambert and Arunas Linkevicius interlocked in a battle going down towards the back straight. But look at this battle for the lead. Sam Hirani up the inside of Lee Harrison, gets the position done and dusted. So Hirani retakes the lead here at Jacarepaguá, and now he's going to have to contend with April Dillon. Is Lee Harrison, but he's not going to take things lying down. In towards the left-hander they go, and on towards the final part of the lap. Absolutely brilliant overtaking here from the top 3, and lots of great racing going on throughout the field. But yes, a brand new leader there we have, Chad, with Sam Hirani retaking the front position.
Yes, absolutely, Tom. Sam had a pretty average first couple of laps, but a lot of the testing for this championship has been done at this circuit, and times are very close, but Sam has looked consistently the fastest, so I may expect him to check out straight away now that he's got back into the lead. But all that battling really has brought 4th and 5th back into play. Tom Bellingham there, and Franklin Stegging for the Dutch veteran racing team is catching him, so we could see a good battle on for 4th soon.
Indeed, yes, on board with the number 7, Lee Harrison sitting there in 2nd place. Fantastic onboard shots we have got here at Jacarepaguá. You can really see the different undulations. Camera of the circuit, look at Savarani going very, very deep there into the left-hander. That must be of Lagoa of turn 9, and he's going to have lost a little bit of time as they come on towards the back straight, heading down towards turn 10 of box. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how he fares going into there. Will Lee Harrison be able to take the advantage? Into the left-hander they go, and look at how much more corner speed, and look at how much more comfortable the number 7 looks, and really closing up on this final part of the lap is Lee Harrison, really trying to take advantage of things. Into the left-hander they go once again, getting a nice tight apex. So has Sam Harani jumped too soon? Has he sort of shot his tyres there, Chad, because he really looks to be struggling, especially on this lap, in towards the left-handed kind of corners?
Well, that could be the case. I know Harani tends to like his car to move around underneath him quite a lot, which is good for a lap, but not necessarily good for a race distance. It'll be interesting to see how his tyres do hold up as the race progresses.
Yes, indeed. So coming down the start-finish straight in towards the first corner, once again, the drivers go. And as you mentioned there earlier on, Chad, Bellingham and Franklin Stegging really closing up, so he could have a 5-way assault for the lead of this race come the final few laps. Only 12 laps, of course, this race distance here in Brazil, so going to be very interesting as Lee Harrison clips the curve there. And look at Franklin Stegging all over the rear bumper of Tom Bellingham for the Independables. So 5th position for the number 72 of Stegging. Into the left-hander they go. Bellingham there in the 33, going a little bit deep into a couple of corners, and that's really allowed the Dutch veteran racing driver with Theo van der Brink not too far behind, looking up the inside in towards the left-hander. Down the back straight they come. It's going to be like taking candy from a baby for the number 72, and straight up the inside goes the Dutch veteran racing number 72. A little bit deep into the corner, but he's got the position done and dusted there. A nice clean overtake, Chad.
Yes, that's very good to see. Tom Bellingham having a very strong run. Him and his teammate Dan Thorne looked quick going into this race, but Dan shot his chances by spinning into the wall off the start. Yes, but Bellingham could still fight back. He tends to come good late in the race as well as at the start, so we'll have to wait and see. But that looks like Theo van der Brink catching up to Bellingham. I wonder if his teammate Franklin Stegging is going to hold up the pace a bit to allow his teammate to gain a position.
Well, it will be the first time in realist racing that we've seen tactics like that take place, and the Dutch veteran racing squad really looking to make a charge in the latter stages of this race. Here it's the Autodromo Internacional Nelson Piquet. Into the left-hander they go of Carlos Pace, and really closing up over the rear wing is the Dutch veteran racing driver, looking for every opportunity he can to try and get past him. But oh my goodness gracious me, straight off to the infield of the circuit, there goes Tom Bellingham. What on earth happened? I hope we can get a replay of that at some point, but my goodness, he's right down the order now, is the Independables driver, and such a freak instance it was there, Chad, but he's lost all of that good time that he made up in the early stages of this race.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. The car came out of nowhere. I don't know if it was one... Ah, here we go. Here's a replay on board with Bellingham. He's coming through the left-hander, and is that a back marker? Oh, dearie me. Braking on the exit of a corner. Bellingham had nowhere to go, but spear to the right. Lucky his car's still in one piece, but that was some pretty ordinary driving there, in my opinion.
Yes, indeed. I can imagine he'll be a little bit frightened, to say the least. Will Tom Bellingham looking further down the order. Bjorn Golder there in the Marlboro McLaren. Sorry, I should say rather Campbell Wallace in the Marlboro McLaren-esque Kaibitsu car, with Bjorn Golder in 9th place. Looking up the inside is the number 64 on the number 10, trying every which way he can, but Golder just defends his line very, very nicely in towards the left-hander and holds on to his position. And Wallace there going a little bit deep as well, and now he's got to contend with the likes of the Tropico Motorsports car of James Lambert there, the number 91, sitting in 11th place, who goes spearing over the curb and nearly collects Campbell Wallace. A little bit of a spin, a 360 back round and back underway there for the number 91 of the Tropico Motorsports team, but that's going to really stop his assault, I should say, on the top 10 positions. But crossing back to the battle with Lee Harrison and April Dillon. Lee Harrison really coming under threat from the defenders at this latter stages of the race there, Chad, and some fantastic battles going on with Franklin Stegging and Theo van der Brink coming right into play in the latter stages of this race.
Yes, I postulated whether it was Hirani who was using his tyres a bit too much, but perhaps it was Harrison, because he was right at the front at the start, but now he's dropped back into the clutches of April Dillon, who's going for a move down the inside on the back straight, and this looks like it could come off. We've seen this work earlier in the race. And no, Lee Harrison continues on the outside line, carries in massive corner speed and has remained ahead. Brilliant driving.
Absolutely fantastic, as you say there. So 3:14 has to think about another day or another corner rather, I should say, to be able to overtake. All the while these two are scrapping. The Dutch veteran racing driver of Franklin Stegging really coming into play, and a bit wide there from the 3:14 of Dillon, and that allows Stegging to get up into the final podium position. So Stegging up into third and Dillon demoted back down to fourth. So 72 ahead of 3:14 at these latter stages of the race. And now to get back onto the podium, the orange car of the defenders has got some work to be able to do as they head down the timing to cross the timing line once more. And now Franklin Stegging has got the bit between his teeth. He can smell second place as we can see some debris on the inside of the circuit going through turn one. But yes, Franklin Stegging very much within a shout of taking second place here from Lee Harrison if he can't hold on. So let's see how this battle emerges as they go through the infield section. It really does seem as if it's going to be a matter of if not when.
Yes, Stegging definitely on the move here. He looks to me to be one of the fastest men on the track at the moment. He was fifth a couple of laps ago, now he's in third, looking like he could well take second. And if he's kept his tyres in check, he could even pose a problem for Sam Hirani late in the race for the lead. Who knows?
Absolutely. Let's wait and see how things go. So through turn 6 of Sul, fantastic part of the lap this is here at the Brazilian circuit of Jacarepaguá. Looking there at the Dutch veteran racing squad, so the third, fourth and fifth positions all separated very closely, and Franklin Stegging loses the rear there. I think he was slightly tapped by April Dillon going around that corner. It was very, very close to closing speed. He must have had some kind of an issue with acceleration, did Stegging, and he's now back down into fifth position, so that allows Dillon to be right in with a chance. And of course now Stegging has lost a position to Theo van der Brink, his teammate, as well.
Yes, these cars are right on the edge. It only takes the slightest bit of contact for them to go beyond the limits of adhesion and spin. That's very sad for Franklin Stegging there, but I don't think there was anything April Dillon could have done about it, really.
Yes, indeed. So the Dutch veteran racing squad of Theo van der Brink, I should say, rather, really within a prime position to be able to take advantage. Sam Hirani, the leader there, and if you didn't think Lee Harrison was trying to catch up to him, well, it's about as obvious as a wham hairstyle that he's trying to be able to retake the lead in these latter stages of the race, but it's only a matter of whether he can catch up to the back. Someone we haven't really mentioned throughout this race is the Tropico Motorsports car of Arudis Linkevicius, who looks to be struggling quite a lot with understeer there, Chad, really smoking the front tyres, but sitting there nonetheless in a very competent position, all out on his own, on track.
Yes, there's definite understeer there. These cars do have quite a lot of oversteer, so it can be quite tempting to try and dial in some understeer, but really what you've got to do is learn to control the oversteer with your throttle and steering inputs rather than through setup, because it's definitely the quickest way is to have a very twitchy car.
Yes, indeed. So looking there at Lee Harrison once again, so the offenders really trying to mount a charge later on in this race. The number 7 crosses the timing line.
Yes, now he's not under pressure from Dillon or Stegging. He looks like he's really able to settle down and is starting to catch Hirani quite rapidly, actually.
Yes, indeed. So going in towards turn 3 of Carlos Pace. Further down the order, we can see Tom Bellingham there, who of course was caught out by the back marker just a few laps ago, sitting in 7th position, all on his own for the number 33. And just in the background of the shot there is James Price-Harper, the other offender's driver. So Price-Harper, considering where he started in 4th position, looks like he's had a bit of a nightmare of a race. Was he caught up in the incident in turn 1? We don't quite know, but he has had a bit of a dog of it, unfortunately, here at Rio. And going a little bit wide there is Sam Hirani. That's going to allow, surely, Lee Harrison to be able to close up in the latter part of this lap and really struggling with understeer. Lee Harrison going very, very wide, and Sam Harani going very, very wide. Lee Harrison takes the lead as they come on towards the back straight, but it's going to be an absolute dogfight down towards turn 6 of Seoul. Sam Harani looks up the inside of Lee Harrison. He's going to think about the move, side-by-side racing, really wheel-to-wheel stuff here between the two N team's compatriots, and in towards turn 6. They are absolutely neck and neck, very wide there for the number 9 of Lee Harrison. Has to think about it once again, but it is Sam Harani who still leads the way despite that fantastic battle or commanding duel between Lee Harrison and himself. Absolutely incredible in the latter parts of this lap there, Chad.
Yeah, so a couple of very amateur errors from Hirani there, but even a wounded Sam Hirani is still very dangerous, and he retook the lead from Harrison straight away, which is exactly what you've got to do when you're under attack. But it looks like Harrison's not quite finished yet.
Yes, indeed, we're coming in towards the latter stages of this race. Not too much longer left now. He's only got a couple of laps to be able to try and take the fight to the front, and he knows that as well, does Lee Harrison in the number 7. He's only got a very limited amount of time, and all whilst this top 2 are battling, you've got to bear in mind that April Dillon is going to be closing ever more. So N teams dominating first, second and third here at Jacarepaguá, and we're going to have to wait and see how much he'll be able to take the fight to the front. But James Price-Harper, meanwhile, has gotten himself ahead of Tom Bellingham there. Chad, 7th position, rather, I should say.
Yes, Price-Harper normally much further up the grid than this, but like I say, we don't quite know what happened, but it looks like he's on a recovery drive now, but passing Tom Bellingham. But Bellingham's not going to give up. I know the lad well. He likes a fight and will definitely like to mount a counter-attack on Price-Harper before the end of the race.
Yes, indeed. Plenty of corners for him to negotiate through this lap. 12 of them, in fact. Sorry, 11 of them, I should say, in fact. So going to be interesting to see how the drivers do indeed fare over the next couple of laps. He's going to be running out of time as we cross, I should say, towards the helicam, down towards the turn 6 of Seoul. Looking up the inside is Bellingham on Price-Harper. Tries to shut the door, does the offender's driver, but gives him very, very rightly racing room. And Bellingham and Price-Harper side by side, but into towards the right-hander. The corner looks to be Price-Harper's. Oh, the rear steps out on him there, but he tries around the outside. Surely he can't make that stick from Price-Harper. No, Bellingham's straight up the inside for 7th place. Price-Harper tries to get the undercuts, and he manages to do so. This is absolutely fantastic racing as the leaders there come to start their final lap.
Oh, absolutely wonderful. That all began with a trademark lunge from Bellingham as he goes for another one. Oh, brilliant driving from Bellingham. Price-Harper got a massive swapper on coming through the right-hander. I don't know how he held it, but absolutely wonderful racing between these two as they head on to their last lap.
That was absolutely incredible from Bellingham going in towards the final corner. I don't know how he made it stick. My goodness gracious me. We are in for an absolute fight for 7th position in the latter part of this lap, I am sure. And all the while, this battle going on out in front as well between the leader of Sam Harani and Lee Harrison. Looks like that Dillon has dropped just a tiny bit off the back, and he's going to be very, very hard pushed, Will Dillon, to be able to try and take the advantage. But looking at the inside is Lee Harrison. That's a prime overtaking spot as we've seen in this race here at Jacarepaguá. Has to think about it once again, though, does the number 7. And looking all over the back of the rear wing of Sam Harani is Lee Harrison, trying to find any which way he can. He's running out of opportunities now on this final lap. Who is it going to be that will cross the line in first position? Will it be Sam Harani? Will it be Lee Harrison? Or will the two come to blows? And will we see Dillon take a masterful victory? He's only got a couple of corners left. Coming around the final corner now. So who's it going to be? Harani looks to have got the advantage. Oh, straight behind out of the final corner from Lee Harrison. And Harani claims the first victory in the Formula Meme Championship. Look at that then. Lee Harrison holds on to 2nd place, and just managing 3rd position was April Dillon there. So the N teams have 1, 2 and 3, and what an absolutely titanic scrap they had. And it's still not over there between 7th position as well, Chad.
Oh, what an absolutely fantastic start to the season, and it's still not over. This isn't even for the points. Price-Harper's run wide. He's defending the inside into the final corner. Bellingham's going to go for the switchback. Oh, and he's found a gap on the inside, and he's taken it.
Oh, my goodness.
Price-Harper... Oh, what a finish.
So close between Tom Bellingham. He just nipped it at the bud. That was incredible from the number 33. My goodness, that was as close as you have ever seen it for 7th position. You'd have thought they were battling for a world championship. So Bellingham on to 7th in the in the car there. But there we are, the results from the race, the Grand Prix of Brazil. Sam Harani leads the way, 0.5 of a second. Half a second was the gap between Lee Harrison. Dylan 2 seconds back. Theo van der Brink further down the order. You can see Franklin Stegging in 5th. Linkevicius had a quiet race in 6th. Tom Bellingham just held on to it by a few hundredths of a second there. Look at the gap between Bellingham and Price-Harper. Dan Thorne claimed a good 9th place. Bjorn Golder rounded out the top 10. Neil Heatley was 11th, 52 seconds back. And then the first of the lap runners was Campbell Wallace in the Kaibitsu, number 64, in 12th position. Failing to finish was Odell, Mason, Lambert and Woolard.
Yes, looks like quite a few failures to finish, as we sort of expected. We didn't see what happened to any of them, whether they were mechanical or accidents. But there was so much action at the front, we didn't have time to see what was going on with everyone else.
No, indeed. Niall O'Connell failing to finish. Likewise, Pete Walker, Charlie Marriott, a similar sort of story, as well as Matt Davies. So, as we mentioned, quite a few non-finishers. Sam Hill didn't cross the line, neither did Tom Kowalski, I'm afraid to say. So quite a few incidents on track and mechanical failures, as to be expected in these older generations of cars. But what does that mean for the championship then? Well, it means that Sam Harani, of course, leads the way on 9 points. Lee Harrison, 3 points, oh, sorry, 2 points back, I should say. Sorry, yes, indeed, 3 points in second position. Dylan in third, Theo van der Brink fourth, Franklin Stegging fifth, and Aurelius Linkevicius snatching the final point in sixth position. Of course, the championship results decided by the first race, but it's going to be very, very interesting there, Chad, going in towards the second race at Imola.
Yes, if the rest of the season is as close as that, we're in for a thrilling championship, not to mention the number of drivers in that race, like the Independables drivers and Price-Harper and others who were out of position, who could feature in the remaining races, so there could be even more in the battle for the title.
Yes, indeed. So we'll see how things go, but we'll catch you for Imola in a few weeks' time. Who will be on top there? Will it be Sam Harani? Will it be Lee Harrison? Or will April Dillon be able to take the fight to the front?